everyone, I'm Captain Logan, and here's my Captain's Log for May the 5th, 2014. Just a couple of hours ago, we got the trailer for Gotham, and I'm really surprised that there's already a trailer for this show. There's like a 47-second trailer and then an extended trailer, and so now we are getting a sense of what the show looks like, and we get to see some of the characters in action, and it's actually revealing quite a bit. I'm really surprised by how much we're already getting to see of the show. And I'm reading some people already complaining that it looks kind of cheap, it looks too TV, it looks too like TV movie and not polished, not stylized enough. And I do want to caution folks to not jump too hard into criticism mode yet, because the thing hasn't even been picked up for series yet, and on IMDb it's toggled as being in post-production. So I think it's a little bit of a gutsy move for them to release any footage at all this early, much less putting together some kind of a trailer, because I'm pretty sure that they're probably not anything like finished with CG, with the city and filters and the overall post-production, what the show's gonna look like. I felt the same way about the initial trailers for Arrow, and didn't think the production values looked all that great, and you know, that show looks really good for TV. So I'm not too worried about that yet. I mean, I do kind of hope, just from what I've seen, that it might get a little bit more stylized, just in how they decide to do filters and things. Yeah, it looks a little bit it looks a little bit too straight-laced, maybe, but I really doubt that what we're seeing in the trailer is precisely what it's going to be ultimately, especially with what they're doing with costume design and stuff. It's certainly a heightened kind of thing. You know, you look at what Cobblepot looks like, you look at what Selena Kyle looks like. They're doing a comic book thing with this. It's not, even if story-wise it ends up being kind of procedural cop drama, they seem to be wanting to do more of a gritty, I don't want to say noir throwback thing, but certainly a more, you know, gritty Batman comic thing. A lot of people have been complaining that Jim Gordon doesn't look like Jim Gordon, that he doesn't have a mustache, that kind of thing. And, you know, you look at him in the trailer and, yeah, he doesn't look like Jim Gordon, but I certainly could see him with a mustache. And I could see this actor, maybe in a couple of years, he gets the mustache. It's a prequel thing, and I'm really on the fence about how I feel about the fact that they're doing a prequel thing as opposed to anything else. On the one hand, I am very, very excited about all of the characters that they're bringing into the show, and I think it's really cool that their regular cast is littered with so many major Batman characters. That's exciting to me, to get to see some of these characters in live action for the first time in a long time, even, or some of them ever. Sarah Essen, who else? Renee Montoya. I didn't even realize she was going to be in the show until I looked at IMDb today. That's kind of exciting. Harvey Bullock. You know, some of these characters that have never been in live action before. I think that's very, very exciting, even being in a prequel thing. And you have to expect some of those kinds of, I mean, I don't even want to say changes, you know, because they might grow into them. And you have to expect that kind of stuff because they're trying to give you the early days of these characters, whether that sounds like an exciting kind of premise or not. That's what they're doing with it. So you just kind of hope that it's not too much of a gimmicky sort of thing. If they do something kind of thematic with it, if they have Gordon kind of grow into his mustache, if that ends up being kind of a symbol for Gordon's leadership abilities or his confidence in the field, that kind of thing. Maybe there's a whole lot of stuff in the trailer about Gordon trying to be this kind of like altruistic sort of cop, and about how the city changes people, and all of that thematic stuff is in the trailer, about how, you know, you can't be a nice guy in Gotham. I could really see the mustache kind of symbolizing Gordon finally getting to a place where he realizes that he's got to get more tough as nails. And as he's getting a little bit more hardened and figuring out how to be a cop in Gotham and live there. But anyway, I mean, I'm just spitballing. Who knows what they'll end up doing with it. I just don't want to jump the gun too quick and complain about things like that until I've seen the show. There's certainly risk of it being, I know people hate it whenever I complain about the show and use it as a, and use it as the example for everything that has ever been wrong with TV, but I could see them, but as a prequel thing, I could see them going to Smallville where everything's kind of a joke and a nod to things in the future, kind of a wink-wink thing, and look how clever we are that we are referencing things that are supposed to happen later, that sort of thing. I think Arrow has done a pretty good job, for the most part, of setting up things that are for the future and doing it in not always subtle ways, but not like irritatingly nudging you, haha, look how clever we are, where it'll actually, sometimes it'll feel that way, and then it'll become more part of the show, and it doesn't just feel like a goofy, silly gimmick. I hope that this show can take its cues from that. But what helps with Arrow is that it starts as an origin and then just turns into the Green Arrow show. Unfortunately, Gotham isn't gonna get to do that unless it goes on for like 15 or 20 years, because they're starting with a Bruce Wayne who is 11 or 12 when his parents die, and that seems to be the, and I knew this already, but it was kind of neat to get to see it in the trailer. It's gonna be first episode, Bruce Wayne's parents get killed, and then what happens to Gotham from then on. Could this be a very fascinating premise? Could it be very interesting to see all of the details of Bruce Wayne's life right after that, and see a 12-year-old Bruce Wayne that is getting into the mentality of where he eventually decides to be Batman, and having a Bruce Wayne that is actually friends with Jim Gordon and deals with him more often than we've seen him before that early, and Jim Gordon, their relationship together ends up informing his decision to be Batman and what he does with everything later. Sure, that could be really fascinating, but I gotta tell you, now that I've seen this trailer, and after almost a whole other season of Arrow, I'm starting to get in a place where I really kind of wish this was just a Batman show. I know I did a video when this news first came out, and I was positive about it, and I still want to be positive about it. This definitely looks like a show I would watch. And it's certainly, and I mean, I'm gonna be doing a podcast series on it, and so I will be watching it whether it's good or bad. But I mean, even if it wasn't for the channel and I was just, you know, a regular viewer not doing work on things, this does look like a show that I would get excited about and watch. And I certainly thought that the pilot script for the Bruce Wayne show that was almost made before they decided to drop it in favor of Smallville because Batman Begins and all of that, I thought that was a really cool script, and I thought that Batman actually worked better as a long-running prequel series, better than Superman did, and I still feel that way, but that show would have had a much older Bruce Wayne, and we would have seen him training and things. This is going to be more of a cop show. This is going to be more about Jim Gordon. And I get the sense from the trailer that Bruce Wayne's going to be a really huge part of this show, and I don't know how that's going to go. It could be really dull, or it could be fascinating. Who knows? And again, this could just be kind of a straight-up procedural drama, but with what we're seeing and the characters that they're using, it looks like it has a really good chance at being a little bit more than that. And so, for the piece that we're getting, I think there's I have really high hopes for this show. But, at the same time, the superhero on TV is starting to become a more viable thing, thanks to Arrow. Thanks, Arrow. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. looks like it's probably going to get renewed, and it's in a better place than it was earlier. Flash is almost certainly going to go to series. We've got the Constantine show about to come up. There's all kinds of other things in the works, and of course Marvel has all those things for Netflix that are going to come out. Superhero is about, in comic book, is about to take over. Well, and also, I think that we have to also probably credit Walking Dead a little bit, because just adapting comic books to TV, and that being more of a viable thing than it was before. But anyway, I think that I think that we might look back on the show after the first couple seasons, and as we're seeing other superheroes being just straight up adapted in costume and stuff, and say, boy, it's really too bad that this show couldn't have Batman in costume. Because the thing is, it's got pretty much all the characters you would want to see for a show set in Gotham that's Batman. Now, with Green Arrow, the costs aren't necessarily as high as they would be for Batman, with the gadgets and with the car and with the Batcave and everything. Back in the 60s, the 60s show cost a ridiculous amount of money. Because of all the sets and everything, and the costumes and the gadgets and all of that. And of course, it's weird to compare things that almost 50 years ago now to what we can do on certain budgets and things now. But I think most people would agree with me if I were to say that a Batman show would probably cost a lot more than Arrow, and that CW as a network probably wouldn't be able to pull off that show the way that maybe Fox could if they threw enough money at it. I feel like a 24 sort of budget, you could maybe get away with doing a straight up Batman show. But the other thing that kind of makes it weird in my brain is you could do just a cop show with Batman in the background, and you wouldn't have to go to the Batcave very often. You wouldn't have to ever go there necessarily if you made it a Gordon-centered show, if you made it just, a Gotham City Central sort of show. And as I'm looking at this cast and I'm looking at these characters, some of the ages are feeling a little bit weird to me. And I don't mean to be a comic book purist. They could do this any way they want to, I suppose, but it's maybe, again, a little bit potentially gimmicky just to maybe have some fan service to have so many characters in the show that ought to be younger than Jim Gordon, especially, I guess Sarah Essen is okay, but especially Harvey Bullock, who I never got the sense was really around the same age as Gordon. I always got the sense that he was a little bit younger, but especially like Montoya. Every version of her I've ever seen, she's like 20 years younger than Gordon. Not a big deal, whatever. If the show's good, the show's good, and that's great, and I hope it's wonderful, and I'm stoked for it. I can't wait to see it. I think Cobblepot looks fantastic. And the thing that I got super excited about that I didn't know about yet, that apparently was already news and was on IMDb, and I just somehow missed it, is Edward Nygma is going to be in this show. Yes. And Edward Nygma is one of those characters that I can see operating behind the scenes, or however they want to do it, for several years before it ever occurs to him to put a costume on. I can totally see that. I kind of hope that he's not just straight up like working for a mob or something. I sort of think it would be more fun if he was like behind the scenes and nobody knew who he was, and he had that kind of stuck behind a whole bunch of monitors thing, just like manipulating technology and things, and people don't know his face, but like that sort of thing, and just this kind of anonymous kind of character, but who knows what they're going to do with him. I'm just excited because Edward Nygma is one of my favorite characters, and I haven't seen a version of him on screen in a long time. He's played by a relative nobody, somebody I've never seen in anything, who's got very few screen credits, named Corey Michael Smith. He looks really good for the role. He looks like an intellectual, so, that's good. That's what you want. And I like his wardrobe so far. Like I said, I'm very surprised Renee Montoya is in this show, and that's potentially exciting. And Betty Kane, who is a character that isn't used much anymore because they killed her off, or rather, they just had her not exist at all post the original Crisis, and every now and again they brought her back and done things with her, and I guess Kathy Kane is like the other version of her or something. I don't know a lot about this character, but anyway, she was basically the original Batgirl, Batgirl with a hyphen, Bat-Girl, and it'll be interesting to see if she's going to be some sort of kind of pseudo-vigilante character. It would be kind of neat if she was kind of the Batman for the show for a while. And again, who knows? I'm just guessing at things. But that was a name I was kind of interested to see. So a lot of cool choices. And the biggest thing for me is I'm glad that they're not just going straight 52. Green Arrow has been making a big deal out of 52 stuff, and they've been doing a great job, of course, of going to lots of pre-52 stuff too, which is awesome. But I was a little bit worried that Gotham might just be another way for DC to make a big deal out of 52 stuff, and there might be some of that in there, but the fact that they're going all the way back to a really, really early pre-crisis character means that they're doing their homework, and somebody is jazzed to get to be working with this material and has reverence for it, and that's very exciting. But anyway, check out the trailer if you haven't seen it yet. I think that the kid playing Bruce Wayne looks really good. I think that all of the thematic stuff that they're that's in the trailer, where they're talking about where they have Gordon tell Bruce Wayne that he doesn't need to just overcome his fear, he needs to find a way to use it. That's very Batman Begins, so it looks like a lot of those ideas are, I mean, I'm sure the Nolan trilogy is going to inform this show in spades, and that's a potential thing that we could run with and get a lot of mileage out of. And then this whole idea of Gordon being kind of a goody two-shoes and having to figure out how to be, and becoming more grizzled and more hardened over time, but still having to try to hold on to his convictions and not be corrupted. That's the sort of thing that has the potential to drive this show for a good long time, and I'm really hoping it works. But as I said, there is a part of me, the more I'm seeing of this and the more I'm thinking about it, that really kind of wishes that we could have gotten a Batman show in the Arrow universe, because Arrow is doing such a good job of building this DC universe and using a lot of Batman stuff that it's really kind of a shame that the Gotham show isn't going to have anything to do with Arrow. And I don't mean that I would want it to the way it's been envisioned, because I don't really want Oliver Queen to be, you know, 20, you know, late 20s and Bruce Wayne be 12. But I'm just saying that that it's a little too bad that it can't be the same sort of cop show, but just, you know, moved into the present, moved out of all of that, and I'm sure it's going to be a present day thing. I'm sure that they're not going to make it like a you know, early 1990s show or anything like that. So I'm sure it'll be a reimagining, just like Smallville was with Superman. And again, that's okay. I hope it's great. It's just I do think I'm just envisioning this Batman show set in the Arrow universe, and after we're getting Flash, and after this talk of other potential spin-offs, and it's gonna feel a little weird and a little bit lopsided, but nevertheless, I'm gonna take what I can get on this, and it's exciting to get something Batman in live action like this. We're getting Poison Ivy. We're getting I mean none of these characters are going to be supervillains yet, of course, but we're getting a character called Ivy Pepper instead of Pamela Isley, and that's weird. I don't know why she's called that. I hope that they don't just do a bunch of arbitrary name changes for no good reason. I do kind of wonder what that's about. A couple other things I wanted to mention. This character, Fish Mooney, okay, I thought Fish Mooney was like a crime boss Batman character who was actually a guy, and I went looking for Fish Mooney and couldn't find it. All I could find was this character from Gotham. Somebody help me out. Was Fish Mooney a thing, and I'm just not digging deep enough? In this, it seems to be kind of the lead crime boss. She's all over this trailer, and she's played by I forgot to write her name down. She's played by the lady who was Morpheus's old flame in the Matrix in the Matrix sequels. And I didn't like her character that much, because it was I always thought that it was really kind of flat and they didn't do a whole lot with her. But I thought her performance was great, and it's kind of neat to see her on TV. I think that she's potentially going to elevate this. I think she's a really good she's a really good actress. So I was excited to see her here. And anyway, that's about all I've got to say about it right now. But I am really looking forward to the show. Steve Baxi and I will be doing a regular podcast series on it when it comes out. So look forward to that. And I'm almost positive this thing's gonna make series. It hasn't officially been picked up yet, but the fact that they've already put out a trailer certainly bodes well for series, and I'm sure, I mean, even if it didn't for some crazy reason, I'm sure they'll at least put it out as a TV movie. That's how it's labeled right now on IMDb, so, but anyway, hopefully Fox is smart with it and orders enough episodes to begin with and puts it on a regular evening. But anyway, what do you guys think in the comments? Are you kind of torn like I am, where it looks like it could be really cool, but the more you see of it, seems like it ought to be just a cop show set with Batman actually in the universe? Are you worried about prequelitis? Let me know your thoughts. Looking forward to reading them. And also, let me know what the next thing is I should do a captain's log on. What is going on right now that I maybe haven't noticed or that I haven't discussed yet that you think I ought to spend a few minutes and talk to you about? Leave comments. Looking forward to reading them. I'm Captain Logan, and this was today's Captain's Log.